Have you ever stayed somewhere so long that you slowly stop recognizing yourself? You are still functioning, still working, still showing up, still smiling, but deep inside, something was dying. For many people working in education today, that is exactly what is happening. What started as a calling to teach, mentor, guide, and develop people has in many places become something entirely different. And for some of us, the issue was not burnout, it was moral exhaustion, it was spiritual exhaustion, it was the crushing weight of being pressured to compromise truth, integrity, wisdom, discernment, and conscience just to survive inside a system that no longer valued those things. In this video, I want to talk honestly about the hidden spiritual toll of toxic systems, why many professionals are quietly leaving education and institutional environments, and how reclaiming your integrity may cost you comfort but save your soul. Now, if you are currently wrestling with guilt, confusion, fear, or exhaustion from a toxic workplace, I want you to know this: you are not crazy, you are not weak, and you are not alone. Welcome to Daisy Shotwell Media and Online NewU University, where we talk about faith, purpose, leadership, culture, business, and navigating difficult times with wisdom, discernment, and spiritual clarity. If this type of content helps you, subscribe to the channel and join our e-list below so you can stay connected to future teachings, resources, and our faith-based professional network. Now, there was a time when many educators truly believed they were shaping lives, not just producing test scores, and not just pushing paperwork, not just managing behavior, but helping form human beings. Teaching used to carry dignity, purpose, honor. But over time, many professionals began noticing something changing. The environment became increasingly hostile to independent thought, traditional values, ethical disagreement, faith perspectives, parental involvement, and sometimes even basic common sense. What was once education slowly started becoming ideological enforcement. And if you question anything, you risk isolation, retaliation, being labeled, career stagnation, hostile coworkers, or administrative targeting. Many people stayed because they needed the paycheck. Others stayed because they genuinely loved the students. And many stayed because they hoped things would improve. But toxic systems have a way of normalizing dysfunction. Eventually, you began compromising in small ways just to survive. You stopped speaking up. You stopped questioning things. You learned to stay quiet. You began editing yourself constantly. And that is where the spiritual damage starts. Because every time a person silences their conscience for survival, something internal begins eroding. Romans 12, chapter 2 says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." But toxic systems reward conformity, not integrity. And many good people are silently suffering because they know deep down, I am no longer aligned with what I originally believed this work was supposed to be. People often talk about toxic workplaces emotionally, but many never talk about them spiritually. Some environments do not just drain your energy, they drain your discernment. You begin carrying chronic anxiety, hypervigilance, fear of saying the wrong thing, emotional numbness, constant stress, exhaustion without peace, and a deep sense of internal conflict. You wake up tired, you go to sleep tired, and even on your days off, your nervous system still feels under attack. Why? Because prolonged compromise creates internal warfare. When your values and environment are constantly colliding, your spirit feels the tension, and eventually your body feels it too. Many professionals today are functioning outwardly while internally collapsing. Some lost confidence, some lost joy, some lost passion, and some even lost faith. And one of the greatest tragedy is this. Many good-hearted people began believing the problem was them. But sometimes the problem is not that you are failing. Sometimes the environment itself is unhealthy. Not every door is assigned by God simply because it provides income. Not every system deserves our loyalty. And not every opportunity is worth the price of your integrity. Now, there does come a point where a person has to ask, what is this environment turning me into? Because environments shape people. The scripture says bad company corrupts good character. And that applies to systems too. Some systems slowly drain people to suppress truth, normalize dysfunction, reward dishonesty, punish courage, and emotionally manipulate workers into compliance. And many people are finally reaching their limit, not because they are lazy, but because their spirit is exhausted from surviving environments that constantly violate their conscience. Leaving a toxic environment and toxic sounds courageous in theory, but in real life, it is terrifying, especially for people who built careers there, invested years there, earned degrees for it, sacrificed family time for it, or attached their identity to it. Many people fear financial instability, starting over, losing status, disappointing others, or being misunderstood. And let us be honest, sometimes people around you do not understand why you are leaving. Because from the outside, everything may look stable. But stability without peace is not true stability. Some people are financially surviving while spiritually deteriorating. And eventually you reach a moment where you realize, I cannot keep trading my peace for a paycheck. And that realization changes everything. For me and many others, leaving was not about rebellion. It was about survival. It was about reclaiming clarity, reclaiming health, reclaiming truth, reclaiming peace, reclaiming identity. And sometimes God will allow discomfort to expose what no longer aligns with your purpose. Not every exit is failure. Some exits are deliverance. One thing people do not talk enough about is the identity crisis that can happen after leaving a long-term system, especially helping professions. You may ask, who am I now? What do I do next? Did I waste my years? Can God still use me? Yes, absolutely yes. Nothing is wasted. Your experience still matters and your wisdom still matters. Your voice absolutely matters. Many people leaving toxic systems are not losing purpose. They are being redirected or repositioned into healthier assignments. Some will build businesses, some will coach, some will mentor, some will write, and some will consult, and some will create communities, and some will lead ministries. And some will finally discover the freedom they never had inside institutional environments. Sometimes the wilderness is not punishment. Sometimes it's simply transition. And during transition, God reveals confidence, discernment, and identity, courage, and vision. But rebuilding requires honesty. You cannot heal while pretending toxic environments did not affect you. You must confront burnout, fear, grief, disappointment, sometimes betrayal. But healing is possible and purpose still exists beyond the system that you left. And to bring this to an end in closing, if you are currently in a toxic workplace, I want to encourage you with this. Do not lose yourself trying to survive an unhealthy environment. Protect your conscience, protect your peace, protect your integrity. And your gifts were not given so systems could exploit them until you collapse. And if you feel isolated right now, understand this. There are thousands of people quietly going through the same awakening. Professionals, educators, leaders, parents, creators, believers, and even ministers. People who are realizing I cannot keep compromising what I know is right just to remain comfortable. That awakening may feel painful, but it can also become the beginning of freedom. Because sometimes losing a system is how you finally find yourself again. Now, if this video spoke to you, subscribe to the channel because we are going to continue having real conversations about toxic workplaces, faith and culture, purpose, career transitions, spiritual discernment, leadership, and rebuilding your life with integrity in difficult times. And if you're looking for faith-based connections, resources, coaching, business networking, or a values-first professional environment, join our e-list below and connect with us through online NewU University and Kingdom Commerce Hub. We are building spaces for people who still believe integrity matters, truth matters, faith matters, purpose matters, and people should not have to compromise their conscience to succeed. The link is below, and I do want to thank you for watching. Stay grounded, stay discerning, and never sell your integrity for acceptance.